Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ricky Steenkamp. I'm a project manager at Macmillan Teacher Campus, and I'm so excited to be with you this afternoon in the last free webinar of the year. But don't worry, we'll have a lot more for you installed next year. So please look out for those email campaigns that'll come through. We've just finalized our workshops for 2024. So please be on the lookout for that. Just a bit of administration. Tomorrow, round about the same time, you will receive another email from us from this platform with your certificate that you will receive for attending this session. You can then hop onto the SACE website and log it as a self-directed activity, so that you can also do. Then I would also just like to just quickly tell you about the control panel that you've got. The platform we're on is called GoToWebinar. There is a little line, they're all in little lines. Look for the one that says handouts. If you click on handouts on the little arrow on the right, on the left-hand side, you will see a PDF version of the slides that we are going to work through today. So sit back and relax, and I'm hoping that we are going to engage. We can talk. If you want to drop me a message, please go to the questions box. There's another one that says questions. You can just pop a question in there for me. I've got it open on another screen. I'll have a look at them. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, please feel free to use the questions. The chat function doesn't really work if you're in on your cell phone. It doesn't work on the cell phone. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's not. So it's safer to just use the questions box, and then I can see what you are typing. So yes, let's get started. So just a little bit more about myself. I've been with Macmillan Education for 13 years as a project manager. What we do is we train teachers. I was a teacher myself for more than 20 years, head of department and deputy principal, and I also taught in the Western Cape and in Gauteng. So I've been in 2 provinces, but with Macmillan Teacher Campus, I work all over the country. We travel everywhere in all of the provinces. And I've been training for 15 years with other publishers as well, not only just Macmillan. And then I've also developed a lot of training manuals and textbooks and things like that as well. So hopefully you feel safe in my hands today. So let's talk about a growth mindset. So what is a mindset, first of all? So could what you believe about yourself impact your success or your failure? Just think about that for 2 seconds. What do you believe about yourself, about your intelligence, about all of those things? And then do you think that has an impact on whether you are successful? If you believe, okay, well, I'm not the sharpest pencil in the box, so that means I'm not going to be very successful. Or I'm really clever, I should be more successful. Have those thoughts ever crossed your mind? But according to Stanford psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck, your beliefs play a pivotal role in what you want and whether you can achieve it. She also found that it's your mindset that plays a significant role in determining your achievement and your success. So what exactly is a mindset? Basically, it's a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and of yourself. It also influences how you think, how you feel, and how you behave in any given situation. So think about your work situation, in school, in your teaching capacity, when you are faced with certain scenarios, certain situations. How do you feel about certain things? How do you think about certain things? And how do you behave in certain situations? Give those things a lot of thought from this day onward. And as we go along, it'll make a lot more sense to you why I'm saying that. So what I want to do is I want you to tell me what your mindset is. I'm going to do a quick poll. I'm going to launch it for you. It launches on the platform. It becomes a link. You can just click on it. It'll appear on your screen and you can just choose. I want to know, what is your mindset? Do you have a fixed mindset? Do you have a growth mindset? Or do you have maybe a bit of both? Quickly do that for me. If you can just click on any one of those two, of those 3, you can click on the screen. It is active. Thank you so much. I see that 60% of you have already voted. Thank you very, very much for engaging with me. I'll give you a couple more seconds. I noticed that a lot of you are saying that you've got a little bit of both, and 0% of you are saying you've got a fixed mindset. I'm so glad to hear that. I really am very, very glad to hear that. So I'm going to close the poll, and then I'm going to quickly show you the results. So let's quickly have a look at those. So you will see that 80% of you said that you have a bit of both, and 20% of you said that you have a growth mindset. So where do you really fit in? It's healthy to have a little bit of both, because I'm going to tell you now, I have a very fixed mindset about certain things. You are never, ever in your life going to get me to eat sweet potato. I have a fixed mindset about that. I am not ever going to touch the stuff. That is what a fixed mindset is. I have a certain issue with them and I don't like them. I'm not going to eat them. That's an example of a fixed mindset. But I'm open to try things. Like when I was a child, I never ate olives, but as I grew up, I decided, okay, well, let me try them. I'll try that. So it's a bit of a growth mindset, growing into certain things. It's a very silly example, but at least it is an example. Let me hide the poll quickly. I'm hoping that you can see my screen again. Let me just quickly make 100% sure. Yes, you can. All right, so let's move on. So according to Dr. Dweck, there are two basic mindsets. There are a few more, but they are a little bit more progressive, and we can do another webinar on those at a later stage. But the two basic mindsets that we talk about are a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, as you figured out already. So if you have a fixed mindset, you believe your abilities are fixed traits and therefore they can't be changed. You may also believe that your talent and your intelligence alone leads to your success and that your effort is not required, because I got straight A's in matric. I don't need. I had the same thing when I started studying. I got an A in matric for Afrikaans, and I decided, okay, but that was first additional language, Afrikaans, and I went to college to study to be a teacher. And I thought, okay, well, I never studied for Afrikaans when I was at school because I grew up bilingual, so I'm not going to study for it at college either, because why should I? And my effort is not required. And my first semester, I failed. So it's an exact example of that exactly. But on the flip side, if you have a growth mindset, you believe that your talents and your abilities can be developed over time through effort and persistence. And people with this mindset don't necessarily believe that everyone can become Einstein or even Mozart just because they try. They do, however, believe that everyone can get smarter or more talented if they work at it. Practice, practice, practice all the time. So I want you to have a look at the following examples and try to imagine each of the statements that suits you best. So I'm going to put them up one by one. There's two of them. One is a fixed mindset, one is a growth mindset. And just have a look and see which one fits you the best. So the first one is either I'm good at it or I'm not, or I can learn to do anything I want. The second one, that's just who I am. I can't change it, or I'm a constantly evolving work in progress. The third one, if you have to work hard, you don't have the ability, or the more you challenge yourself, the smarter you become. In the fourth one, if I don't try, then I won't fail. And I only fail when I stop trying. And then the last one, that job position is totally out of my league, or that job position looks challenging. Let me apply for it. So where do you fit in? Some yes, some no. 80% of you said that you have a fixed a combination of the two. So you might fall under the fixed mindset category with some of the statements, and you might fall under the growth mindset with the other statements. So it'll be good to have a little bit of self-reflection on where you think you fit in. So personal praise is when you tell somebody that they're great or talented just as they are. And we're talking now specifically about how mindsets are formed. If you think about your own mindset and you think about the little learners, I'm talking about little learners, anybody under the age of 20 is a little learner in my opinion. If you have these learners in your class, you have the ability as a teacher to form their mindsets for them. So let's take a look at the difference between personal praise and process praise. So personal praise is when you tell somebody that they're great or talented just as they are. It's like saying you're really smart or you're a natural artist. It's nice, but it can also give us some problems. And what are those problems? Fixed mindsets are stemming from those. It might make people think that their abilities are stuck, like they can't get any better. This can make them scared to try new things. They're under pressure to be perfect as well. So when you praise somebody for being smart or talented, they might feel like they have to be perfect all of the time to keep that praise up. And that can be really stressful for them. On the other hand, we've got process praise. So this is when you say you worked really hard. You kept trying and it paid off. And it's all about recognizing the effort and the strategies that people use to succeed. And this kind of praise is really awesome because it's linked to a growth mindset. It makes people think that they can get better at something if they work at it. It's like saying you can improve with practice. You can encourage people with motivation. And you can encourage them to keep trying and to not give up, which is really, really important as well. And also, it motivates people to take on challenges. People who get process praise are more likely to try new and hard stuff because they know their effort can really make a difference to themselves. So, in simple terms, process praise is usually better because it helps people believe in themselves and stay motivated even when things get really, really tough. So, if you consider yourself when you were growing up, which of these two types of praise were you exposed to a lot? Maybe also possibly a combination of both. If you really were talented at some of the things, you didn't definitely got personal praise. But which made the most difference in you personally? Was it the personal praise or was it the process praise that you got for your efforts that you really did and you got stuck on? Which one did you appreciate the most? So your mindset plays a critical role on how you cope with life's challenges. When a child has a growth mindset, they tend to have a hunger for learning and also a desire to work hard and to discover new things. So think about the learners in your class. Think about those individuals that really stand out with having a growth mindset, and then compare them to the ones that you feel have a fixed mindset. And this often translates into academic achievement for a child as well. Now, as adults, these same people are more likely to persevere in the face of setbacks. Instead of throwing in the towel, adults with a growth mindset view it as an opportunity to learn and to grow. So, on the other hand, those with a fixed mindsets are also more likely to give up in the face of challenging circumstances. So, Dr. Dweck also said in a book that she wrote, it was called the New Psychology of Success. She writes that those with fixed mindsets are constantly seeking the validation to prove their worth, not just to others, but also to themselves. Now, reflect on yourself a little bit as well. Do you sometimes feel you need people to tell you that you've done well? You need people to validate what you have done. You want that praise all of the time. So, do you have a fixed or a growth mindset? I don't know what I've said to you now so far already, but maybe possibly you might have changed your mind. So, to find out, we're going to start reading a couple of the statements as well, and then we decide which ones we agree with the most. So, let's read them together. The first one: you're born with a certain amount of intelligence, and it isn't important. It isn't something that can be changed. Is that a yes or a no from you? Just make a note of the numbers that you agree on. The second statement: no matter who you are, there isn't much you can do to improve your basic abilities and personality. Yes or no? The next one: people are capable of changing who they are. Is that a yes or a no? And the next one, you can learn new things and improve your intelligence. Is that a yes or a no? And number 5, people either have particular talents or they don't. You can't just acquire talent for things like music, writing, art, or athletics. Is that a yes or a no? And the last one, studying, working hard, and practicing new skills are all ways to develop new talents and abilities. Is that a yes or a no? I'll give you a half a minute or so just to go over them again, and you just jot down the ones that you agree with. So if you tend to agree more with statements number 1, number 2, and number 5, then you've probably got more of a fixed mindset. But if you agree with statements 3, 4, and 6, then you probably tend to have a growth mindset. So where did you fit in? So in simple terms, a growth mindset is a way of thinking about challenges and setbacks, and it means believing that you can get better at things with effort, even if you're not good at them right away. So if you struggle with something, it doesn't mean that you can't improve. Dr. Dweck also says that it's a good idea to teach people that their brain can change and they can learn and they can improve. But she also warns that if you tell a child that they are naturally super smart or talented, it can make them think that they can't do any better, that they've reached their peak, and they might give up easily when things get really hard. Some studies with young children have also found that when you praise their natural smarts, they might not enjoy challenges at all. They give up quickly when they fail and also think that effort is only for less smart people. They think that the more effort you have to put into something, the less smart you are and that you're not very good at it. But people are still figuring out the best ways to help others to have growth mindsets. And a lot of research on this topic only looks at short-term effects. So there's still a lot to learn about growth mindsets. So let's take a look at some of the benefits of a growth mindset. So the first one is embracing challenges. And people with growth mindsets are more open to challenges. They see challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. They're not afraid to step out of their comfort zones because they believe that with effort and learning, they can get better at new things. How do you use feedback when somebody gives you feedback about something that you've done? So people with growth mindsets welcome feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Feedback is seen as a valuable source of information that can help them to grow and develop. They understand that constructive feedback can give them and guide them in the right direction. How about learning from failures and mistakes? So instead of dwelling on failures and mistakes, those with a growth mindset see them as part of the learning process. They believe that making mistakes is a way to discover what doesn't work and make necessary adjustments for future success. If you think of Thomas Edison, he tried 99 times and failed before he actually did eventually invent a proper working light bulb. The next one is enjoying learning. People with a growth mindset genuinely enjoy learning new things. And they find the process of acquiring knowledge and skills to be exciting and fulfilling. This enjoyment motivates them to seek out new challenges and persist in their efforts. And then accepting challenges. They willingly accept challenges and are more likely to persevere in the face of difficulties. They're also driven to achieve their goals because they see challenges as a path to improvement, not as threats to their self-esteem. How do you approach creativity and problem solving? This mindset can enhance creativity because those with a growth mindset are persistent in their pursuit of solutions. They don't give up easily. And when they're faced with obstacles, instead they keep trying different approaches and looking for innovative solutions. Do you admire other people? Rather than feeling threatened by the intelligence and success of others, people with growth mindsets admire and respect them. They see others' achievements as a source of inspiration and learning, and they understand that they can learn from successful individuals and even collaborate with them to achieve mutual success. So if you have somebody that gets a promotion at your school before you do, somebody might even be younger than you, gets promoted before you do, but they're really, really good at their job. Instead of being jealous, rather learn from that person. Ask, get them to be a mentor or something like that to you. So a fixed mindset, people with a fixed mindset also tend to avoid learning situations because they feel like their ego or their sense of self-worth is on the line. They worry a lot about looking smart and not making mistakes. They just want to look good. For them, things like going to a class are more about showing off what they already know than actually learning new stuff. They also don't like challenges. They give up easily and they're afraid of failing. However, with a growth mindset, it's like having the freedom to become the best version of yourself and sticking to your values without being held back by your self-doubt. It means believing you can change, learn, and improve. People with a growth mindset are not afraid to fail because they see it as a way to get better. They're motivated to keep trying even when things are tough. They think they can only change their own lives, but also help others to do the same. They don't see things as fixed or unchangeable. So, in simple words, a growth mindset allows you to be your best self and make the world a better by learning, by improving, and also not being afraid of mistakes. It's also about believing in your ability to change and to make a difference. So both mindsets are the products of lifelong experiences, observations, and also education. But with practice, with determination, and with effort, you can develop a growth mindset, or you can improve your growth mindset as well. Maybe there are some areas that you need to work at. So here's some practical steps. We're going to look at some practical things that you can do to grow your growth mindset. So the first one is you must believe that you can do it. Use a daily mantra or a similar device. So convince yourself that you are capable of all of the changes that you need. It might take some work to instill this in yourself, but by reminding yourself of the payoff, growth, and accomplishment, you can do it. So if you look at the image, you will see how you approach a challenge. If you have a fixed mindset, then you are constantly in your mind asking yourself, with your personal monologue, are you sure you can do it? Maybe you don't have the talent. You keep telling yourself that. But if you have a growth mindset, you are going to say, I'm not sure I can do it now, but I think I can learn with time and with effort. Do you see the difference? It's a very subtle difference. So believe that you can do it. Believe that you can learn. Those seeking change must also be very curious. So we want people to be curious. You must marvel at how much you don't know. Get used to this feeling. Not knowing is not a reason for fear or shame, but for excitement. Follow up on it by asking questions and seeking more information. So I want you to look at yourself in the mirror in the evening before you go to sleep and ask yourself, what have I learned today? Have I learned something new? And if you haven't, then don't go to sleep until you've actually learned something new. And remember, there's a concept called micro learning. It can be a 5-minute little video that you watch on something that interests you, something new. But I bet most of you, when you look at yourself that first time in the mirror before you go to bed and you ask yourself that question, you are going to answer, yes, I did learn something new today, because you have a growth mindset. So be curious. It's very, very important. Also, avoid blaming circumstances or others for your shortcomings. You have to recognize that you are responsible for your own future and for making the most of your innate talents and abilities. So next time that you hear yourself blaming something or someone, take a step back, own up to your responsibility, and identify the lesson and move on. So avoid blaming. Don't say, it's not my fault, it was someone else's fault, or it was this's fault, this happened, I couldn't do it, or whatever. Rather have the growth mindset. If I don't take responsibility, I can't fix it. Let me listen, however painful it is, and learn whatever I can. If I've done something wrong, there's somebody there that's going to tell me, you did this incorrectly, you can fix it, this is how I want you to do it in the future, learn from it. So avoid blaming. But then also allow yourself to fail. As uncomfortable as that may be, it's essential that you try and try and fail again. Every failure is a stepping stone on the path to success. And I'm sure that I don't have to remind you of the many famous people who at first failed miserably and then went on to become leaders, influencers, and also role models. There are lots and lots and lots of them. So leave your comfort zone and become at home operating outside of your comfort zone. So for many of us, the comfort zone is a refuge. It's a place to go to be free from challenges. But free from challenges also means free from growth. So push yourself and grow. So as you face your challenges, your setbacks, and criticism, listen to the growth mindset voice. So how are you going to interpret your challenges? You can interpret them, your challenges, the setbacks, and the criticism in a fixed mindset as signs that your talents and abilities are lacking and can't be changed. Or you can interpret your challenges, your setbacks, and your criticisms in a growth mindset, which is what we are aiming for. So you will need to ramp up your strategies and effort, stretch yourself, and expand your abilities. Then don't place yourself under undue emphasis. Don't place undue emphasis on your results. It's often the results that do count, but don't forget to reward yourself for your efforts, because the result is the end that you want to achieve. But it's what you have learned and achieved and accomplished along the way that counts as well. So well-earned self-praise is a very good attempt that can sustain you over the long haul. So if you've got a long-term project, take teaching for a year. You have a difficult class this year. So you're in it to win it. You kick off at the beginning of the year, and your end goal is at the end of the year to get those little bodies to pass your subject at the end of the year. So it's a whole year-long process that you are going through. There are difficult challenges, there are difficult learners, there are difficult staff members. There keep things popping up preventing you from doing certain things. You will walk into school, you plan something, something comes up, you can't do it. It's how you approach those challenges, those setbacks and things to achieve that ultimate goal. And throughout the year, as you have progressed through the whole entire year, you have gained knowledge, you've gained skills, you have achieved things. So I want you to reward yourself for those things, because those are things are what have made you reach your end result. It's not the end result that is the absolute be all and end all. It's what you've achieved along the way as well. Also be aware of the green-eyed monster, and this monster is called envy. Now, when we're faced with another person's success, we've spoken about this before, what do you think? I'll use their success as a model for what I want to achieve, or, boy, do I wish I had achieved what they have. The former spurs you to success, and the last one limits you. So use your admiration as a tool to guide you along the road to success. So either you're going to say, how come she gets to be promoted and not me? Or you're going to say, I'm happy for her. She's very good at her job, and maybe I can actually learn something from her. Always see these people who achieve as somebody that you can learn from. And then also, don't let the protection of your ego get between you and the changes that could make you happier and more successful. A growth mindset will push you into areas where you feel less comfortable. You feel less accomplished and also more afraid. The ego doesn't like this, but listening to it leads to the path of mediocrity. So you're going to listen to your ego, stay in your comfort zone, and just not grow, achieve nothing. If you want to shine and to excel, you have to be prepared to challenge your ego, limit your beliefs and your assumed limitations, and believe I can do this. I can. It's like me with my taxes. I always thought, "Gee, I'm not good at this. I can't do my taxes," but just open up the e-filing and just slog, do it, just follow the prompts. It's like also ICT integration into the classroom, learning a new cell phone, learning a new app or something like that. People are afraid of these things. Don't be. Open it up, fish around with it, play around with it, grow, grow. It goes with everything that you approach. If you come to school next year and they tell you, okay, you're no longer teaching um, natural sciences, you're now going to teach social sciences this year. And but so I don't know anything about social sciences, or they say to you, oh, you've got to train, you've got to coach the netball team this year. You don't even have coaching background. So what are you going to do? Are you going to say, sir, I'm sorry, I can't do it? Or are you going to say, I'm going to try. I'm going to learn everything I need to know about the subject or the sport or whatever it is. I am really going to try, and I'm going to put my best effort into it. So with practice, you can learn to decide which voice you will listen to and which voice you're going to act on. Ideally, you're going to take on the challenge wholeheartedly. You're going to learn from your setbacks and try again. You're going to hear the criticism and act on it. And you're also going to practice listening to both and acting on the growth mindset voice. See how you can make it work for you as a person. And as we go through the next activities, and we're going to do some activities now quickly, I want you to try and think of the voice that you are hearing in your head. So I want you to quickly grab a pen and a piece of paper. So let's quickly reflect on our priorities. So as part of the reflection phase, I want us to think about a clear vision of our priorities. So think of your priorities. So I want you to, you're going to take about 5 minutes, write your answer to each of the following tasks, okay? So what are your priorities? What really matters? What's really important to you in your life? And it doesn't have to just be about your career. It can be about family matters. It can be about your uh, new career or your hobbies or whatever it is. I want you to just think and write down the big things, the small things, your dreams for the future. Just quickly jot down, what are your priorities at the moment? What are your priorities? Write them down for me. What is it that really matters to you? What really matters? Give you another 2, 3 minutes or so. What's really important to you? Could be health, could be your diet, could be your family, could be somebody that's ill at home, could be something that you want to achieve, something new that you want to learn, you want to study. What is important to you? All right, Janet, I see that you're saying being healthy, active, and being happy and jogging. Janet, I must tell you, I only run when somebody's chasing me. Always laugh at myself, laugh at my own jokes. Right, let's move on to the next one. I'm sure everybody has something that they could automatically, just without even thinking, write down what is important to you. So the next one, I want us to think, to write down everything that you can think about how the last few months have gone, or even years if you want. So I want you to write down things and include what went well, what didn't go so well, what are you really proud of, what do you regret, what helps you succeed, what barriers or events have hindered you, what external factors affected you, or anything else that you can think of. Think back on things that have happened over the last couple of years, months, it might even be just weeks. So it's on the screen. You can have a look at those and just answer those quick questions for me. And it's a very personal thing, so you don't have to put it in the chat. It's for your own reflection. So we're thinking about what happened in the last couple of months, what went well, what didn't go so well, what are you proud of, what do you regret, what helped you succeed. Maybe you lost a friend or something. What helped you to succeed? What maybe it could have been a person that helped you succeed. It could have been your attitude, could have been your effort. What barriers or events hindered you? What stopped you from achieving? What external factors affected you? Could be an illness in the family. It could have been just your attitude. Could have been your health or anything else that you can think of. Can we move on? You can pop it in the questions for me quickly. Just say a couple of yeses or nos. I'm still busy or what? Done. Yes, we can move on. Thank you, Ferdo. Thank Megan, you're still busy. Okay, I'll give you another minute. Will a minute help? Okay, Megan is done now. Anybody else still busy? Done. Okay. So Janet, you're very much into running. She says, can I read it, Janet, for them? Would you mind us reading it? Okay. Janet says, me doing my first 10 kilometers went well. Me not being able to finish in time, I said for myself, she's proud of her daughter and she's getting her driver's license. She's proud of her daughter getting her driver's license and she regrets not starting in her 20s for jogging. So that's what happened in your past. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, Janet. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So I also want us to think about why are we working towards a deadline. I want us to think about what we are aiming about. Where are we going to for the future? What is it that we are, let's say I want to learn something. Maybe I want to do my honors and that's my, what is my deadline? So I want us to think about what it is that we want to achieve in the future. And then how does the deadline fit into your life, your career interests or others? What is important to you about this deadline? What would success in this deadline look like for you? And how important is that success for you? So think of something big that you want to achieve. Then think of the deadline for that you've set yourself for. And then write down why, how does it fit into your life? So in other words, how is it going to impact your life, that deadline? What is it going to cost you? I'm not talking about money. What is it going to cost you in your career, your interests, and other things? So how's it going to impact on your life? What's important to you about this deadline? What would success, if you achieve this deadline, what is it going to mean for you? What's it going to look like for you? What is going to happen when you achieve that deadline? And then what is important, that success? Why is it important for you? I want you to write that down for me quickly. I'll give you about 5 minutes for that also. Oh, Tanya, I feel you. Tanya says finding an institute suitable for her special needs son. My boy is 28 and he's on the spectrum, and it was really, really difficult raising this lion, taming this lion rather than raising the lion, and finding places that are suitable for them. It's really a nightmare. Christiana says that she wants to get a master's qualification at the age of 45 years. It's important to round up my achievement. Well done, Christiana. I'm going to hold my thumbs and my toes for you. And for you too, Tanya. There's always an answer out there. Annie, jy sê jy wil graag verhuis na Pretoria. Kyk uit vir 'n pos in daardie omgewing. Ek wil graag my vlerke sprei en meer ondervinding opdoen. Annie, that's a very, very nice goal that you've set for yourself, and I really do hope that you achieve it. And Charlotte, you said you want to learn how to play the piano, and you're already now at 60. And Annie, Charlotte, you are never too old to learn, hey? I'm almost there. I'm almost 60, and every day I'm learning something new as well. But I honestly don't think I want to learn to play the piano by the age of 60. There's other things that I want to do. But piano, and that's what makes us all different. So I'm holding my thumbs for all of you. You seem to have quite a nice range of goals that you want to achieve as well. And Elna, you are saying, I think I've lost Elna now. Let me just find Elna again. What did you want to say, Elna? Let me just scroll down a little bit. Elna, she says, I have 3 years to still rub off a positive attitude between all staff at the campus. Need to save money for my camper van to tour around. You're going to go on a ski holiday, spend the kids' inheritance. And then Lizette, you are saying to finish my degree that I set on hold when my dad got sick and passed. I want to make him proud because he always was proud of me. That's such a nice one, Lizette. Thank you very, very much. All right. If you're okay with that, we can move on. I want to share just before we end off today and before we open for questions, just have a look at the few couple of images that I want to share with you as well. So when I was looking for some nice impactful endings for this, I came across a really nice ones that we can really take to heart. One that says, change your words, change your mindset. So with a fixed mindset, your words are, I'm just not good at this. The growth mindset will say, I'll use some of the strategies that I've learned. Or you could say, I give up. Or you say, I can always improve. I'll keep trying. Or I'll never be as smart. But you can also say, this may take some time and effort. Or this is too hard. But you can also say, I need to figure out what I did wrong and get some help. I'm never going to get this. Or you could say, I'm on the right track. I'm getting there. Not there yet, not quite, but I'm almost there. I'm on the right track. I can't make this any better. Or you can say, what am I missing? It's the type of question that you ask. Which words are you using that is influencing your mindset? Also, change your words, change your mindset. You can look at this little word cloud that we've got here. And remember, you're going to get a copy of this. I'll give you some time to quickly download it as well. And then, which steps have you reached today? Are you right at the bottom of the staircase? Where are you? Are you at the I won't do it? I can't do it. I want to do it. How do I do it? I'll try to do it. I can do it. I will do it. Or yes, I did it. So where are you on your road to success? So are there any questions that you have? You can pop them into the chat and then we can have a look then I can answer your questions for you. So if you want to ask some questions, let me go to the bottom. So yes, Ferdu, it's an awesome possible poster for my classroom to see the vocabulary. It's a little bit fuzzy on my slides, but you can always recreate it. So there's something new challenge for you, Ferdu. You can recreate that. You're going to get the slides anyway. So recreate that poster or just do little keywords, flashcards, and put them up as well. Thank you, Ferdu. Ferdu says challenge accepted. So Estelle, thank you very much for the positive comments. She says it was eye-opening growth mindset here. I come watch the space. Well done. All right. So guys, thank you so much for your comments and for listening to me this afternoon. Please quickly go to the section that says handouts. If you haven't done it yet, it's on the control panel. It literally says handouts. Click on the little triangle arrow right on the left hand side of it, and then click on that link, the PDF document, save that on your computer, and you can access this PowerPoint at any time. And you can make your posters and do what you like as well. All right. Thank you very, very much for listening to me. And it is now 4:45, so I've cut off 15 minutes off our time. So go and make dinner. If you don't know how to make dinner, learn how to make dinner. You're like me. When I got married, my husband, I couldn't cook. He taught me how to cook. Because you're not going to believe this, but I took metalwork as a subject at school. I dropped home economics at school, and I did metalwork. So cooking was not on the cards for me. So can't cooking. It's one of those things I don't do, but I learned. So if I can cook, you can cook. So have a good evening. And while you're cooking, have a nice glass of wine with that as well. So guys, we'll see you. I can email it, Aisha. Yes. Let me quickly just copy this email address. So Alicia, did you register with this email address? Did you? Because then I can just quickly send it to you. Yes, Megan, cook during load shedding. That's a challenge for all of us. Lots of gas involved and outside fires and braais, or just go to the restaurant. Okay, Aisha, I'll email it to this audiology, this email address that you registered with, and then I might as well just send it to everybody that attended the session this afternoon. So yes, we'll see you next year. Thank you very, very much for accompanying Macmillan Teacher Campus this year, and we'll see you again. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to end the session.